I have some very, very sad news. I did a firework display on July 5th of this year. And in this display, as part of the finale, like I usually do, I want to go out with a bang, so I use really loud canister shells inside a mortar rack. Well, it just so happens that the shells I was using had some sort of lift charge that was really overloaded. And maybe some of you saw this happen, I don't know, you'd have to look really close in the video. If I can find a clip of this actually happening, I'll include it here. I had no idea that this finale would destroy my favorite mortar rack of all time. Let's do a little tribute here. Pour one out for my favorite mortar rack. Now, this is actually my favorite configuration that he sells because it is just so light. So now we're gonna test out these Roman candles with brakes out of the CodyB rack. The first day we released this rack, they sold out in less than 24 hours. All right, we got the other 6 ball shells loaded into the CodyB rack. Let's shoot some real canister shells out of the rest of the tubes. But we are going to be launching these shells out of the musket shot CodyB tubes. You guys can get this with the link in the description. Anyway, they're 6-shot racks, HDPE tubes, high quality build. You got the Redbeard stamp there on the front. You guys can pick up for yourself at redbeardsfireworkshowcase.com. Yeah, I've been using this thing for years, and it's really unfortunate because at the time that it was destroyed, I was fairly certain I would never get another one. Well, guess who's back making mortar racks again? You guessed it, Brian with Redbeard's Firework Showcase. Now, these days, Brian's actually doing something a little bit different. Instead of just selling mortar racks, he actually has a website dedicated to novelty fireworks, which you can order in pretty much every state. You don't need any special permits to get this stuff. It's unregulated novelties. So if you're a fan of things like sparklers, smoke bombs, and even some cooler items, you really got to look for like super snaps with titanium. They sure are a lot of fun. This guy sells it all. You can even get some fuse over there. So today inside this box is my new mortar rack. I would have kept the other one forever, but because it got destroyed in the finale, the only option I had was to get a new one. So let's take a look at it. All right, so everything you're about to see inside of this box was from redbeardsfireworkshowcase.com. Did the name of the website change? Did I say that right? I'm pretty sure I said that right. Is it Redbeard's Fireworks Novelties now? Is that what it is? I might have this wrong, I'll have to look. It won't matter to you guys because either way the link will be on screen. All right, let's see what we got. So inside, I also got the treasure chest firework assortment. It comes in a nice little box like this. A few of the items inside have changed since the release of this product. So I got one here to review some of the differences. I tested the first one out and I really liked the contents. So we'll put that aside for later. And then take a look at this box here. Now this, unlike that one, is not a firework assortment. What's inside here are called Patriot sticks. Imagine this like a sparkler on steroids. It is about the closest thing you can get to an actual fountain that isn't regulated the same way as a fountain. They're a lot of fun and I've got some cool ideas for this. So going forward on the channel, oh, also I totally missed the sticker on the side of that box. Check it out. Treasure chest assortment. Redbeard's Fireworks Showcase. So maybe I did say it right. Anyway, this and the treasure chest will be featured in a separate video. I do also have some fast fuse here. We're gonna get kind of creative. I don't want to spoil anything, but look forward to a future video on the Patriot sticks. I've already spoiled too much. Anyway, forget everything I just said. That fuse was talking back. All right, moving on. Here is the good stuff. Oh my God, he actually loaded the thing with some other items. I'm noticing. I was not expecting this. I wonder if I can just pull this whole rig out of here. Oh yeah, look at that. So typically, I don't think the Cannon Blast comes with some of the things that we have in here. Let's take a look. It very well could, I don't know. I want to say Brian threw these in as kind of a bonus. Nice guy. So right here we got a little sticker. That's pretty cool. You can put that on anything. This is actually packaged very well. Like if this was, before I had even opened this box, like if it was rolling around at the post office, everything in here would be just fine. Look at this wrap. It's like on here super thick. Okay, first impressions. I am absolutely loving these orange tubes here. The reason I like these so much is because of their visibility. The previous tubes I had inside the musket shot were, as you know, black, and those can get tough to see at night without a flashlight. These you're gonna be able to see way better. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 mortar tubes. Also, these things are really nice. Look at that. He's got a sticker on each tube Look at this tube. It's nice and sanded too. A lot of times with high density polyethylene, if you're ordering tubes, they're gonna come with all these little shavings all over them, and they just look really bad. This is like the cleanest mortar tube I've ever seen. All right, so this stuff up front I wasn't expecting. We've got the Danger Zone. This is a red and orange smoke stick. We actually have 2 of those. We'll put that with the rest of the novelties for later. We've got Pyro Demon Up in Smoke. Take a look at that. I've been testing out some Pyro Demon stuff lately, and I've been pretty impressed with the brand. Just gonna keep all that aside because that's gonna be its own video. I mean, it's getting dark. So before it gets too dark, I really wanted to get you guys this unboxing. This is really interesting. This says Cracker Bombs by Pyro Demon. This is, wow. If these are what I think they are, I can't believe that anybody can order these. This is awesome. Take a look at this. Holy cow, they're not even packaged. So they come loose. That's actually really cool. Look at this. So this is like a little crackling ball. Man, these things look super cool. Look at that. Try to get a up close shot for you. Anyway, they're just in here like that. So you get 50 of these bad boys. That's pretty cool. Should we just light one of these real quick? You know, that's pretty nice. And honestly, can your neighbors even complain about this stuff? I feel safe doing things like this in my own backyard. Fortunately, I do have to come out here to do some of the larger stuff, which we've got 200 gram cakes over here. I'm gonna show you why I brought those out. And we've also got some shells. So we're gonna be breaking in this mortar rack with some very powerful shells tonight. Now it looks like I have another case here of the 4-color Morning Glories. As you know, these were in the Strange Fireworks video this last summer. I think it's pretty cool that they have developed a way to make sparklers change color. There's just something about that that I really like. Putting a focus on novelty fireworks is something a lot of companies lack. I've noticed a lot of stores just love to carry every 500 gram cake they can, but then their novelty section is super lacking. It's like, yes, people want fireworks to go up in the air, but you also want to have unique stuff for the kids. Now, of course, I say it like that, but novelties are my favorite. I guess I'm just a kid at heart. All right, what else do we have in here? So it looks like we've got 45-second strobe stick. What? Oh my goodness, Brian, you really knew what you were doing here. A strobe stick. I don't know that I've ever seen this. He's got 4 of them wrapped up in here. Let's see if we can get one out. It goes without saying, we're gonna have to test this out. So take a look at this. Now, just what on earth is going on here? I'm assuming you light it from this end. That kind of looks like concrete down there. Hope you guys can see this. Let's just see what happens. This is a strobe stick. Oh my goodness, look at that. You can do Harry Potter stuff with this thing. Okay, that is super cool. Man, how long have these been out for? Am I stupid? Have these always existed? Wow, look at that. That is bright. I can't even look at it. I'm looking away, blinking. All I see is that strobe. But if you were trapped inside of a cave and this was your only light source, it would definitely light everything up. You could even use these as like signal flares if you're out there on the water. Are they Coast Guard approved though? We may never know. This is still really epic. Definitely gonna have to make a separate video on these too, because this is just too wild. And look at that, you got a nice handle on there so you can't get burned. Okay, Brian, you've done an outstanding job at distracting me. Let's get back to the main focus of the video. All right, so this one here has got the orange spacer in it. So this is the one that I'm gonna be converting to my new 6-shot mortar rack. I love to use this for any kit of canister or ball shells that comes with 6 shells in total. This is way more lightweight and just easier to move around than a bigger rack. When they make them longer like that, sometimes they get in the way of other things you're trying to stack in the pickup. That's why I've always liked this rack. I've kept it around as long as I have, and honestly, the proof is in the videos. You guys have seen the rack I'm talking about. When I put this together, you'll see what I was talking about. Unless you remember the one before, I guess I did put in some clips of that. But anyway, here's the new rack. I'm thinking, hopefully this will last me like 10 years, maybe longer. Who knows, I could be using this forever. To have one fresh like this, there's no burns on it. There's no marking what the shell kit was. Like sometimes I would write in what shells I'm shooting right on here. None of that going on. It looks really clean, real nice. Now you might be noticing the chains on here. They actually had these on the old one, but with so much use I put that thing through. These pins are really nice because if you look at the side of the musket shot here, I may actually have to bring this a tad bit closer so you can see those holes. But what's nice about these pins is if you've got 200-gram cakes. Now, I wasn't gonna show the example of this on this rack because I'm just gonna be using this one for shells. So let's just open up this other one here. Ooh, this one looks really clean, nice and stained. And it's really nice that I have another one of these now. Because like I said, probably my favorite rack ever made. It's just way easier to carry around. Even when there's only 6 tubes in there, like I just prefer this over the longer ones. Okay, this one also comes with a spacer. You want to use that spacer if you're going to get some tubes like this for your musket shot. Take a look at the stain on this one. It looks really nice. I know it's getting dark. I'm doing my best, but take a look at that. And black chains and everything. That is cool. Look at this. Again, you can see the pinholes here on the side, so I'm just going to show you real quick how you go about securing your cake. It's really simple. Check this out. So you take a pin and you kind of come around here and find the pin that the edge of the cake lines up with. And there you can see our cake daffodil is now resting against that pin. We additionally want to put one over on this side, so we'll do that quick. And I think this hole right here would be the closest. You give that a bit of a shove and look at that. Daffodil ain't going anywhere. So you can light this off now safely without your 200-gram cake tipping over. This is a very consistent problem that I've seen just being in the firework industry as long as I have, is 200-gram cakes that are about this size, which is literally all I brought out here. They always tip over. It's like 1 in 5 of these things will tip over, unless when you light them off, like if you're doing a mass launch. If you don't pack these things tight, even the ones on the end will tip over. A rack like this, great idea, especially if you're trying to build a cake show in a neighborhood. That's very important. You would want to use a rack like this if you're doing fireworks on your driveway and you've got neighbors all around you. It is better to spend the money on a rack like this and spend the extra time on safety versus having to call your insurance company to pay for the neighbor's house or their car. Now, lastly, we have this really large looking musket shot here. This is actually called the Cannon Blast. You will notice it is built almost the same way that this is. It's just got more to it. So I want to tell you a little bit about this rack. Now, obviously, a 500-gram cake is not going to fit in the musket shot. But a 500-gram cake will indeed fit inside the Cannon Blast, which is what we have here. You'll see there are 8 pins in total, which is nice because you could also do some 200-gram cakes in here. If you wanted to do 1 per corner, this rack would allow you to do that with the sheer amount of pins that they have. Now, this isn't just a cake rack. This whole thing can actually be converted to a 24-shot mortar rack. And with these nice handles here on the side, it is going to be way more convenient to lug this thing around in your vehicle. So in a scenario where you're going to use the Cannon Blast to fire mortar shells, you would get a couple of spacers like this, put them in here. Now, they're going to be way longer than this, obviously. This is just for an example. And then your tubes are going to come in here, something like this. You're going to get 6 of them per row, 4 rows of that, and you get 24 shots. Now, when we shoot off these 200-gram cakes, I am going to be doing, like, I think I want to do 4 of them out of the Cannon Blast. So do 1 per corner, use the pins to get them locked in place, and then we'll actually do another one out of here since we'll have enough cakes to do that. We may even have to reload these a couple times. The musket shot with tubes in it, I brought out 6 canister shells. These were actually gifted to me at the PGI. God, I want to say it was Island Pyro who gifted me these shells. I have no idea. I could have that wrong. I'm sorry. I met so many people at PGI. Too hard for me to remember where I got what. But somebody there gave me some of these Riddler cans, I think they're called. They got the question mark on there. It's a nice green canister shell. I wasn't told whether or not these are noise or color, but I have to assume that these are going to be some top performing canister shells. So what better way to break in our brand new orange musket shot rack, well, orange tubes anyway. I like the look of this thing way better than with some really large canister shells. So that's what we're going to be doing tonight. It is already dark, so my next task is going to be removing fuse protectors on the cakes. We'll put whatever cakes we can't fire in one go to the side. And really the only other thing I wanted to bring up is Redbeard's Fireworks Showcase. Thank you so much for some of these free items too. Like the cracker bombs, wasn't expecting that. Very nice guy. I've been working with Brian since he first came out with all these different racks. I've got the Renegade. I still use that for rockets. Sometimes you guys will see the Renegade rack. I don't always bring it up like I used to, that I'm using it, but I do still fire a lot of rockets out of there. And if I got like a 12 kit of shells, that is the rack I use. It's been an absolute pleasure working with him over the years. And if you guys are looking for any sort of equipment, run it by Brian, check out his website. Maybe you're looking for some of these crackers or strobes. The strobe sticks are really cool. So everything you can see here on the table, besides the fireworks shells and the cakes, is purchasable on his website. Free shipping on any orders over 50 bucks, which is pretty nice. You don't usually find free shipping deals that low. Usually you have to spend a few $100s to get free shipping. So thank you, Brian, for that as well. If I am missing anything in this video, I will be sure to also talk about it when we do the treasure chest and the Patriot sticks. Again, I got some really fun stuff planned for that, so stay tuned. And now let's enjoy some fireworks with our new equipment. Just wanted to get you guys a quick example that you can absolutely get multiple cakes inside the cannon blast with no fear of them tipping over. Just look back at the footage and realize you probably couldn't even see that, but there's the 4 cakes. All right, we're gonna do a camera angle of the ground shot here, as well as one going up in the air. We may have to put this footage like somewhere down here. All right, so this is Daffodil by CodyBPyrotechnics. You can see I got it down there in between the pins. Not a bad little cake. All right, same size cake here. This is hard Cobra. You can see the pins there on the side as well. Now again, this is out of the musket shot, which can't be converted to a rack. Okay, this one here is Feel the Pain by Cutting Edge. And you can see it fits nicely in there just like that. All right, we got the pins reset for Just Keep Swimming. This is a 200-gram cake by that brand. I've heard really good things about this brand, so we'll see. Oh yeah. That's a really heavy break. This one here is actually wide enough to just put in there like that, and I think it'll stay secure. You could have put pins on this one, but it's big enough. This will give it extra stability anyway. Wait, what is this one? This is insane. Those are like 500-gram breaks. I'm gonna have to look at the label. I didn't check it. Oh my God. Yeah, we're definitely gonna take a look at the label. All right, so that was Prairie Rose 36 shots by Memory Fireworks. Okay, this is an example of the Cannon Blast, and I've got 4 200-gram cakes in there. Let's start with this one by Dominator here. It's called It's a Girl, and this is a gender reveal cake. Very nice pink colors on that one. All right, we got another one here by Memory Fireworks. This is called Dakota Gold. Based on that last performance, I'm pretty excited to see this one. And so far the rack is doing its job. That's an interesting looking effect. Don't sleep on memory fireworks. Yeah, look at all the shots in that little thing. Now this one here is Dakota Sky Dancer by Memory Fireworks. So far, these have performed the best. Ooh, look at that. These are like mini reports. Whoa. This is unbelievable, 200 grams. Jeez. You can see the tubes there were bigger towards the finale. And I think this is the best for last here. It's called Bowser 16 Shots. You wouldn't want this to tip over. That's impressive, little Thunder King. All right, these are the canister shells here getting fired out of the musket shot. I don't know what they're called officially. Goodness, can't look right at them. So now we'll do 2 of them, see if the rack can handle this. Those are serious. Wow. All right, so it handled 2. Can it handle 3? That is incredible. Those might be the loudest on the market.